Good morning. My name is Reverend Annie Bachelder, and I wrote the book Bringing Forth Soul Consciousness, upon which this Facebook group is based. And I'm going to be doing live readings today. That's what I do on Wednesday mornings at 9 o'clock Pacific time. I take your questions in the comments and I channel answers for you. Good morning, Phil. Nice to meet you. Nice to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm hoping you have a question because the questions are can openers to the Akashic Records and to information about you and your soul. So I'd love to have your question, whatever it is. There are no bad or wrong questions. So I'm looking for what you need to know. In the meanwhile, I'm going to open the Akashic Records of this group by using a prayer. This prayer is covered, and I teach you how to open your Akashic Records in my book, Bring Forth Soul Consciousness. And good morning, Diane Dobson. I'm so glad you guys are here. Thank you. This is what it's all about. And if you see this on YouTube, please say hello, comment, participate. And if you see this on Facebook, comment and participate and ask questions. So I'm going to open the Akashic Records for this group. By the power of divine light within us, come, Holy Spirit, Spirit of light, Spirit of truth. For the highest good of all, fill our hearts with divine love as we humbly ask permission to open the divine portal to the highest realm of the Akashic Records for this group. Akashic beings of light, guide us to the deepest truth of our being, releasing any blocks and restrictions to our abundance and highest good. Great Creatress, assist us to fully embody our soul's light, to fulfill our soul's purposes, and to heal any accumulated karma. Surround this group with the enlightenment and wisdom of our masters, teachers, and loved ones. Clearly direct this group's perspective and actions to those that manifest their divine plans, our divine plans. Akashic beings of light, guide this group to the deepest truth of our being, releasing any blocks and restrictions to our abundance and highest good. Great Creatress, assist this group to fully embody our soul's light, to fulfill our soul's purposes, and to heal any accumulated karma. Surround this group with the enlightenment and wisdom of our masters, teachers, and loved ones. Clearly direct the perspective and actions of this group's. Clearly direct this group's perspective and actions to those that manifest our divine plans. Akashic beings of light, guide this group to the deepest truth of our being, releasing any blocks and restrictions to our abundance and highest good. Great Creatress, assist this group to fully embody our soul's light, to fulfill our soul's purposes, and to heal any accumulated karma. Surround this group with the enlightenment and wisdom of our masters, teachers, and loved ones. Clearly direct this group's perspective and actions to those that manifest our divine plans. Free of all resistance, judgment, and fear. Free of all resistance, judgment, and fear. Free of all resistance, judgment, and fear. We are now filled with divine love, and the records are now open. Let the energy of the divine actually and your soul come in to the back of the head and neck, especially on the right side. They're pointing that out to me. So be sure to write your questions in the comments so I can look at them and channel from the Akashic Records an appropriate answer for you. The energy that is present today is strong. It is also really, really loving, but it will move you out of your chair and out of your stuck place today. So it's a good day to see what comes through and to be in the energy of the solution as you have embodied your soul's light through this prayer. The light of your soul makes you automatically be connected to the divine. And so you might be feeling her presence. We call the divine the great creatress. You can call the divine whatever you like, but you get to make the changes. You get to transpose it. But today, the energy being so strong and the divine being so close to us right now, if there is a change that you would like to enact, today is a very good day to do so. Now, the thing about making changes in life is that people often will not let go of what they've got going on in the present. It's almost like a rope. We're hanging on to the rope of the present situation with all its problems, no matter what, because we trust that more than we fear the future. We fear that the future won't be as good as what we've got right now. That it's an unknown. And so it's very hard for people to let go of the present and reach for and start to bring in that future solution or that new thing and have that be the rope that we are linked and connected to. And I suggest that the rope that you reach out for is the rope of the divine will coming down into your will center, just under the rib cage, right under the peak of the rib cage, connecting with your third chakra, your self-will. And allow yourself to connect your self-will with divine will for you. There, wow, this is a good group. Nice. Oh man. I was a really good, strong, instant hookup. And it was deep. It wasn't like, maybe we're going to try this. It wasn't tentative. It was like, yes. Good morning, Shannon Altman Hood. I'm glad to see you here. I know you got a question. Maybe you can formulate a question and I can answer it for you. I know that you have one. I'm gonna look at what Diane Dobson wrote here. I unfortunately am another one of those that was recently laid off from my job, marketing job. So I'm back on the job hunt, trying to stay positive, but it's been tough this week. Do they see me finding something better soon? And do they have guidance for me right now to get there? Yes. Okay. So they're giving you a chance to catch your breath. There you go. And so this whole idea of letting go of what you've been hanging on to as your security point in present time and being willing to move on and reach for what's new and attach yourself there is very important. And so the whole concept of you linking your self-will at the third chakra, right underneath the apex of the ribs, link your self-will to divine will and let that operate through you. And you did a very nice thing with that whole link up. And instead of making it be outside and in front of you, you moved it back inside. So the divine will is coming in through the top of your head, going and just down along the spinal column into the third chakra and connecting there. Good. And include the legs and the feet. That's really nice. Whole body too. Yeah, beautiful. And you get to catch your breath. You get to be here now. And it is so shocking. And it's so, it makes you, the whole situation of being laid off makes you question yourself, like, why was I dispensable? I'm not good enough. Or what could I have done better? Now, there were things about your job you really did not like. So you're kind of welcoming being pushed off your like secure rock and having to step forward into the new, although it wasn't necessarily your idea of timing. And I don't know, I think that you are in Canada, so I'm not sure what, like, if they have unemployment when you get laid off, um, so that you get some substance to live on while you're organizing your next job. And what I'm seeing you do is looking forward into the next job and being very happy, but also that you're very organized and very present, top down into your feet, solidly present with yourself, being yourself, and unapologetically being yourself and having a job that utilizes who you are in the highest ways possible and pays you well. You know, this is the deal. Sometimes we have to tell the divine, look, I will follow your will for me. I will dedicate myself to your will for me, but I need to feel secure in your divine supply financially, materially, so that I don't have to worry about these things and I can be in touch with your will for me and do the job I'm supposed to be doing. And Diane, I'm feeling that, were you thinking about doing massage or being somehow independent, or doing readings even? Some kind of spiritual coaching, you know, if that's important to you, this would be a good time for you to start that up, like really go, okay, that's it. This is the indicator. To me, in my world, it's been very slow making this pay, and I'm not making a mint. I barely cover my costs. So it's not necessarily, but I'm in California. I mean, the place is lousy with channels and psychics and coaches and people want to give me advice. Oh, you're in Oakland. Oh, great. So you recently, Diane Dobson says she's in Oakland. I recently had this aha that I needed to explore life coaching. Well, so the reason that you're being drawn to explore life coaching is because you really are beginning to take consciously in all the wisdom that you've collected over the years. And I would say it's time to begin an ongoing list, not a list that you have to have pat today or this week, but an ongoing list that states your life experiences and what you learned from them. You know, maybe you have a column about the time it happened, what was it, and how it has enhanced you, given you wisdom, caused you to grow. 3-column thing. And there are a lot of coaches here in California, so I'm not gonna put pie in the sky for you. And you are an independent being and you can do whatever you want. So, but I think that at soul level, at spirituality level, what's important here for you is to acknowledge all that you've been through and the wisdom that it has given you. You know, a column for dates, a column for the event, and the column for what it taught you, what wisdom you gained from that experience. And I would start young. If you have to start at 3, you start at 3. Then you know, just roll that through. Maybe have a list on the computer so you can insert some activities, because as you build this, you're going to be acknowledging things that happened to you that you gained from, that caused you to be even wiser and a better version of Diane Dobson. And this is a great question, Diane. It's really good. So, and I still think, you know, you have a lot to offer a straight job, a lot to offer. And there were a couple of things about the old job that you felt you were selling out on. And I think that those things, you won't sell yourself out on that ever again. Like, you're not going to make that mistake. And it, you know, marketing is marketing, right? It's how do we package ourselves and how do we frame this so that it is an advantage for others? What does it give to, what does this wisdom give someone else? How does it uplift them, expand them, empower them? How does it make the world a better place? Yeah, there you go. Do you feel your feet tingling? I'm really feeling some energy shifts here. So, oh, that's an awesome idea. Yes, I feel it would be a side hustle to start. So I need an actual job in marketing now. Great. So, you know, you're really good at bringing other people's dreams to life. And so a startup probably would be a great place for you to work, you know, a newer company or a younger company, or a company that's going, that's it, we're going for it. We're going to make the next jump up to the next level of sales and capacity, or that kind of thing. And because, you know, really what you're doing is you're changing the framework of the outlook of this company. And I think your next job is really going to be like to break down the old framework, or put in some, you know, like in sewing, they put in gussets like underneath the arm, like a diamond shape underneath the arm to give it strength and expand the size. Or sometimes they put them in the crotch, you know, in really highly mobile places. You're putting some gussets in these companies so that they can grow and be bigger than they were. And Shannon Altman Hood, I'm really feeling you that you've got you really want to ask a question. So I'm looking for some words printed on there. On here, I'm gonna refresh my page, because sometimes Facebook's a little slow in showing me what you all are writing. And I'm gonna just, Shannon, I'm gonna just tune into you. Boy, your uncle really offended you and really hurt your feelings. I get that he gave you some personal information that might have been about the family or your father or something, or your father's wife. And it you somehow took it as like a criticism of who you are. And I think to realize that your uncle has his perspective, Shannon, and it might be different from yours. And, sometimes when people shook me up about my perspective about my family, like the family myths, the Bachelder family myth is we're the best at everything, right? And, my stepmother would talk to me about like, that didn't leave room for anybody else to really contribute to us or for the Bachelder family members to learn from new people entering the family, like my stepmother. And her conversation with me made me expand my perspective to accommodate her coming in and wanting to contribute to us, or being in the family and being part of the family and not being rejected right off the bat, which we did. And by the time I got to this conversation with my stepmother, it was 20 years after the fact. So we were mending some very old, torn fences. Now, I think you're also understanding, Shannon, in your family, that there are some mental health issues that seem to run in the family. With your father, it's largely denial. And with your uncle, it is more about judgment and fear. And, he's your uncle is making some judgments that you may or may not share or may not like. It's just at this point, how can you expand to include your uncle's perspective without having to change your center? Like, you are centered in you yourself, Shannon, and who you are right now is just fine, Shannon. And it's not so much that you're going to get up off your center and change a whole lot. You're just going to expand to include, kind of like, oh, say the house next door fell down and you could buy the lot. And so you would expand your fences out to include this new lot, that all of a sudden your lot became two lots and you're expanding to include, kind of like that. But what you're doing with your mind, and see if you can embody your soul's light. Good, 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 good. You did that really well, Shannon. Oh man, that was beautiful. And now, yeah, let your soul's light really fill your body. And it does radiate outside your skin naturally. And let your soul's light connect you with the divine. There you go. Good, 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 good. And now you are going to open your mind and let the divine into your mind. And let your divine give you some new images to work with, some new concepts. And all you want to do really is find a way to love yourself, love your uncle, love whoever the uncle was critical of. And because you're basically a very, very, very loving person, and you start with that approach, and that is very kind. And at some point, you may need to have some boundaries here. Good. But at this moment, you are filled with your soul's light and connected with the divine, and you are allowing the divine to enter your mind, to think through you, and to provide some new ideas and new perspectives. There you go. Good, good, good. You know, you making room like this mentally is a big deal. It's a big deal. And this is how you approach life. You know, when you got all engrossed in the crystals, you just like and expanded your mind to include this whole realm of crystals and energy and change using consciousness and tools and little assists like crystals. And now you're having to deal with aging family members like your father's wife and your father and your uncle, and it doesn't mean you have to marry their consciousness. You just get to realize it's present and you're choosing to take on the consciousness of the divine. You're stepping into the mind of the divine and being that. Not only is a solution to how you feel, to remedy your upset feelings and cool your jets and calm you, but as a way to expand to include all of these oddities and these other influences that do exist in the world that may or may not be part of what's best for you. And expanding to include doesn't mean you change yourself or anybody else. You don't necessarily have to do anything except for this expansion within on a consciousness and energetic level. There you go. And let the entire situation settle and be in the energy that you have expanded to, and be in the consciousness of the divine and opening and welcoming any new thoughts or concepts, or they're saying privileges, you know, that you are being given the privilege of entering the mind of the divine and sharing the mind of the divine, in especially for this situation, because what it does is updates you and your consciousness, and that ripples backward through both lines of ancestors behind you, because you're the adventurer. You're the one they put forward, like she's willing, she's going to take these big steps for us that we would never take on our own. But you open up the consciousness, the ability to conceive of something different in the perspective than what your ancestors have been able to do. You know, our minds are more elastic than we think. And it's the areas where I'm trying to concretize a concept or a belief or a must. It has to be this way, or I'm brittle, or I can't accept it. And, you know, it's like that doesn't work, especially this year. It really doesn't work this year. So, because we have to be really in lockstep with the divine. Every step we take has to include our connection with our souls and the divine. And we take another step, and that includes the energy of our consciousness of our souls and the energy and the consciousness of the divine. And you take another step, and that includes the energy and consciousness of our souls and the energy and consciousness of the divine. And everything goes forward together. And I think that's a good one for Diane Dobson too. Because that's where we link up with the source of creativity, with the source of generating new, with the fundamental ability to be in the new possibilities and play, and you don't have to marry anything right now, but you're expanding to include both of you, Shannon and Diane Dobson. So that your heart isn't constricted. There you go. You both just went blasted out of the heart. The sort of the tightness around the heart, just like I'm not gonna let that happen. No, no, no. Okay. I got some real players here. I love that. Oh, it's so courageous of you. You don't know. From an energy perspective and trying to see things from a group perspective, like the group of humanity, expanding to include enlarging your heart, being in the perspective of your soul, and being in the perspective of the divine. All of these are potent things, and it affects everything. And even the war between Israelis and Israel, Palestine, and Ukraine and Russia, and where all the other things that are going on in the world that I really can't and don't choose to keep track of because it's just a little overwhelming. And I try to do what I can do here on the planet, in my corner of the world, being the best I can be from this moment, and ripple out. And in truth, that's all we have to be. I'm not any different or more special than the rest of you. You are all equally special. It's that thing again, like last week. I am the beloved child of the divine, upon whom the divine's favor rests. I am the beloved child of the divine, upon whom the divine's favor rests. I am the beloved child of the divine, upon whom the divine's favor rests. And that whole thing just puts us so much in alignment with the divine and in alignment with present time. That's why it's empowering. That's why it's so important. Let me see. Somebody wrote something up here. Sana wrote to Shannon, "You got this." Yay. Thanks, Sana Marie. You're so good at that. Oh, wow, wow, wow. I'm loving this. This is really good. Let's see. I want to look and see if there's anything new being posted. Diane says, "Thank you all for your wisdom." Or thank you for all your wisdom. It was super helpful, much appreciated. Well, I'm so glad. That's great. Really, we can't move from where we are now until we really grok where we are now. And then we have the tools available to move forward. But otherwise, we're just running and trying not to have our feet dip below the surface of the water, and we're trying to walk on water without the structural belief systems that allow us to levitate above gravity. Good morning, David Grace. Kisses and hugs to you. Hi. David and Son are like my family too. They're family. It was easy to expand to include those two. Let's see. Just tuning into the Akashic Records again, getting recentered there. Looking for anybody who has another question. I'm wearing contacts and I have to wear reading glasses on top of that in order to read my computer. Something's wrong. Okay, Sana says our light reaches into infinity if we dare to shine bright. Ain't that the truth? I mean, it's such a brave statement. And to acknowledge that level of authority and power and brilliance and vibrational development, you know, our light reaches into infinity if we dare to shine bright. And that's so, that's the essence of the divine's message to us. We are a part of the divine. She gave us a spark of light, which my guides call the permanent atom of light, which often is in the center of my chest. It's not always there. For years, it was lower down, like around the second chakra, often a little off to the right side. But wherever in your body you find your permanent atom of light, that's the spark of the divine in you. And the more you appreciate that and work with that light, and the more you embody your soul's light, either way, it connects us with the divine. It connects us with our essence. It connects us with the energy of our essence and our divine aspect. Very, very good. David, you might like the thing that the guides told Diane Dobson about finding a new job. If you're still interested in looking, it's to write down a 3-column thing. On the left, you've got the date. And this is like a lifetime review of what happened along the way that gave you wisdom. So first column is date, second column of the event that caused you to become more wise, and then the wisdom gained or the action taken because of that, and how that expanded you and gave you more to offer this world, made you more you or bigger you or stronger. It aligned you with your essence, with your soul, with your soul's blueprint. There's so many different ways of saying it. But making a whole list and appreciating all of these states that you have been in along the way and how it caused you to expand and become bigger and wiser. There we go. So hard to pin it to one date or event. Well, I'm saying don't limit it to that. I'm seeing lots of dates. Like it might be something that you do, like a life review. It's, well, when I was 3, this happened, and I realized I had to make this adjustment. When I was 6, this happened, and I realized, I have to include that in my concept about reality. And I mean, at 3, I'm probably like really got it about uh gravity. I have to honor that gravity exists, and it's going to exist whether I want it to or not. Anyway, but go through life and just let arise in your inner screen events that happen at different stages in life at different times in life, and what that event was, and then in the third column, how it made you wiser. So I think it's a really interesting way of looking at things. What we got? Oh yeah, it would be my clean date of February 5th, 1994. Holy cow. Holy cow. Yeah, so bro. That's like almost 30 years. That's 29 years. And that's 29 years of living life in a different way and not running away from what life has to offer, or what life is steering you towards, or the your work with the divine. And allowing yourself to be motivated by the divine. Oh, David, that is powerful. Woo-hoo! That's great. um, but that, that's just one instance. And then along the way, other expansion points happened. And just ask your soul or the divine to help you with this list. And it's a way of seeing yourself. Like, what has made me wise? And how does that wisdom make me valuable to others or a company or people I'm going to be contributing to, or people I am contributing to? My guides had me do this in a way. I I always wanted to figure out, like, if I charted all the little illnesses and the big ones in my life, what were they? Were they spiritual nudges? What was going on? Like, and it started when I was 3, an earache that I had when I was 3. And then, things that happened when I was in 5th grade. Had bronchitis. Why did I have bronchitis all the time in 5th grade? Well, 5th grade, the deal was different. I wasn't in just regular public school, but we were in like an experimental class with a professor from the University of Vancouver in Canada. And we had 5 student teachers. And that professor would not let me just put throwaway answers on my homework pages. She would say, you can do better than this. And it floored me, because I wasn't getting away with just being cute and on the same old racket. I had to actually work to get this professor's like approval, or had to really change my way of doing things. And it was a challenge. And uh, it was easier sometimes to just have the bronchitis and be just like messy sinuses and mucusy and cough and than it was to go to school. And I could stay home. I didn't have to be cute. I didn't have to work hard. I didn't have to find the right answers. I could just stay home, and my mother would let me watch more TV because we were restricted to a half an hour a day of TV. And when I was sick, she'd let me watch a lot more TV, which I loved. And it went on from there, and that listing was really a different way of looking at all the healings I've had since then, and the spiritual nudges that I got through those events in my life that were powerful and made me expand to include, or made me grow up, or take more responsibility for myself in my life. That's kind of what they're talking about. And yeah, 30 years ago, God, 30 years. It's amazing. And Diane says, yes, I've had lots of hardships, but the most profound was both of my parents dying from different diseases when I was 4. That definitely shaped who I am today. Well, I'll bet, that's that probably shaped your self-sufficiency. Well, if I'm going to be abandoned by the adults in the world, I better get really good at doing it for myself. I can't even imagine what other things that you concluded out of that. That really amazing. And from a soul's perspective, when I do readings, I often see, this might be a person being shuffled into a hard place and another hard place, and being squeezed from the bottom to the up and forced to go up into the world of the divine, or the energetic world, or search the heavenly stars for consciousness and love, and ways of being that weren't visible on the earth at that time. And it's those pressures the soul decided to be in between those kinds of pressures so it would utilize more skills than they might have used in past lives. So the you can't downplay some of the powerful events in life and what it's taught you. And, even some of the things that I'm having to resolve, like my family's always been about shortage, you know, like there's not enough money, time, materials, save, don't waste. Oh, if you waste, you're going to hell. Anyway, and so that post that I put up on my personal page about the divine, beloved divine, change me into a person who is not fearful of shortage of money, time, love, or opportunities. And that evolves into the divine is making me into one who is not afraid of shortage, time, money, love, or opportunities. And the final version is the divine has changed me into one who is not afraid of shortage, time, money, love, or opportunities. So it's sort of this 3-part evolution of these things. And that's how the divine helped me quit smoking. I went to bed one night and I was like, divine, please make me into a non-smoker. And I hardly slept, but I was in this like mode of prayer all night with the divine. And then somewhere in the middle of the night, it shifted into the divine is making me into a non-smoker. And by morning, when I got up, the divine had made me into a non-smoker, and it now was a fact. And I've never gone back. And that's basically what happened when I got clean and sober too. But that smoking, when I quit smoking, it was a very awake process, very conscious process that, asking for divine help, letting the divine help in, and having it be an established fact through divine help. And, that can be true with any kind of changes we're making is, ask for divine help. And then somewhere along the way, it's like the divine is helping me with blah, blah, blah. And the divine has solved my problem around blah, blah, blah. Right? So standing in the energy of that process, making it an awake and aware process. Wow, you guys, this has been a fun day, hasn't it? The guide said it was going to be fun, very loving, very potent. It's a good day. It's a great day. And you know why it's a good day? It's because you're with me. That we're all walking shoulder to shoulder on this path. And I know some of you bought my book, and I'm so grateful. And as you get into it, if you like it, or you want to make notes about what you like about it, please give me a review on Amazon. That would be fabulous. Look this book up on Amazon. It's pretty easy to find. There's links all over this, the Facebook page. And go in there and give me a review. If you haven't bought the book, well, I sure would be honored if you did. I'd love that. I'm having to work with it more because there are typos. I'm fixing the typos. I did the recordings of all the chapters. We're in the process of getting those ready to be uploaded as an audiobook. I'm not going to give an expected by date because every time I do that, it gets pushed out. So I'm not going to even go there. We're in process with that audiobook. But the more I work with the energy in this book and the information, it's, I'm pretty amazed. I mean, I am amazed. Like, what an honor to have it come through me. It's all channeled. And anyway, I bless you all. Thank you for being here with me. Have a marvelous day. You all deserve all the love and the light and the brilliance and the wisdom that you are. Thank you for sharing it with me. Your questions create wisdom. Yeah. I'm going to close the Akashic Records. Thanking the great creatress and her Holy Spirit for love, protection, and healing received this day. Thanking the Akashic beings of light for guidance, and thanking the masters, teachers, and loved ones for wisdom and direction. The divine portal and the Akashic records are now closed. Amen, amen, amen. Have a marvelous day. You've got to do that now. It's going to be beautiful. And those of you who enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, and share this video if you found it valuable. I really appreciate your help with that. It makes a big difference to me in my work. Thank you.